And it's a struggle out there. It's a struggle. Being a single parent, we're trying to make that ends meet. And even if you do have a mate, it's still hard to meet that ends meet. And I just wanted to, just to see if you guys acknowledge the workers that you have, because we are committed. We love what we do. We take pride in what we do. We have compassion, and that's what I just wanted to let you guys know. Okay, thank you.
Next? Okay. Number 3 and then number 2. Okay. Jeannie?
Janine?
Jeannie, Bays?
Basildua?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that help.
I wasn't sure if I was next. I'm not as good as Ruth. She said it from the heart. I'm sorry, I have to write things
Please.
down. I have to
Go
think
ahead.
about.
Don't worry.
Okay, I'm Janine Basildua. I live in Lockford, California. I've been a bus driver for 20 years. Woo! And like Ruth, I love my job. I love the special needs is my love, but I also love the regular ed as well. I've been working here for the district for 20 years. Why? Because I love my job. I was so proud to be a part of Lodi Unified School District back in the day. I started out as a single parent in the late 90s, supporting my 2 children and being able to survive off my wages. Benefits were around $100 for a family. And my fellow members, that was covered under their spouse's medical insurance, was able to receive a medical rebate that the district offered for saving them money. As time went on, everything has gone up. Medical rebate was taken away. Medical insurance has gone up and up and up. Going out on field trips and sharing stories with other bus drivers from other districts, kind of over the years finding out, we've got the lower pay scale, the lower cap. And it just makes me wonder, I've been here a long time because I love my job. And it's like, I kind of makes me wonder, are we really valued? Please show us how you value us as we value our jobs in taking care of our kids in Lodi Unified School District. We are here because of the kids. We have a job because of the kids. Thank you, Lodi Unified School District kids, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Jane. Very much. Tom Ronan, healthcare benefits. Welcome, Tom.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board, President Neely and Superintendent Washer. My name is Tom Rorick, and I've been an employee with Lodi Unified for about 15 years now. I'm the head custodian at Live Oak Elementary. I just want to say that, I feel Lodi Unified is a great place to work. I love my job. I love the people. There's a lot of great people here in this district, and there's a lot of people that really care and, will do anything to, meet the needs of the children. But one thing that I feel is not so great is the benefits. I'll agree with everybody else, and the cost of the health benefits is just so high. It's just out of control. It's hard for people to afford. When I first started in the district, it was basically free for a family plan, and now it's upwards of like $1,500 a month. out of pocket, in some cases more than that. There's actually employees that work in the district where their entire paycheck goes to pay for their health insurance. And in some cases, they even have to write a check to the district to cover the what they didn't, make up. So, I mean, it just boggles my mind. I mean, it's outrageous and out of control. I hear stories all the time of how people are struggling, to make ends meet. Some people work 2 jobs, some people are receiving public assistance, and not to mention single parents. I mean, I don't know how anybody can survive on that, type of, with their income and having to pay that much for benefits. I just feel, is it really in the best interest of the school district to have employees that are not happy and they don't feel like they're being taken care of? And you have to ask the question, at what point does it start, impacting the education of the kids? Because, if you don't have happy workers, a lot of times people don't take their job as serious, and it's just kind of the way it goes. I'm not saying myself because I love my job, but it happens in a lot of cases. But one great thing I think we can do right now is to make the health cap monies available to all the people in the district, regardless of whether they take the district plan, because there is other plans out there that are more affordable. And I just feel that, if that money was available to us and we could use it to go outside and buy a plan, it would give us more flexibility. It would just go a long way to, help people's families and meet their needs. I just think it would be awesome and it would help tremendously. So the last thing I want to say is that there's no greater return than when you invest in people. So what I'm asking is to invest in the people that work so hard to make this district what it is. Thank you.
You are welcome to stay. Deborah, did you want to talk now?
I just want
Sure,
to thank
please,
all of
come
our
on.
members for coming out tonight.
Sure.
And they came tonight because they want you to know how important what we're going through right now
Right.
is to them. So that's
Right.
why they're here. But it is also very important that they can take care of all of the students in our district. And many of these folks out here are going to be up at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning to get out
Totally
to take care of the
understood.
students.
Yeah.
So we've made our statements, and maybe they could be released, and then we can continue the meeting if that's all right.
Absolutely.
So, and everyone, if you'd like to go, you're welcome to go, because I know you have to get up early. But if you'd like to stay, you're welcome
Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Well, I'll be here.
Moving right along, we finish up our comments. Comments from board members. Well, that thinned out the audience quite a bit. Okay, we're going to move ahead with the meeting. Thank you very much. All right, comments from board members. Who'd like to go first?
This afternoon, I believe all employees received a message from Dr. Washer, and attached to that message was the work that has been done so far by the board subcommittee to revise the mission, vision, and goals document. I am the chairperson of that committee and very ably assisted by Mr. Joe Nava and Mr. Ron Freitas and Dr. Washer. So we had finished our revision work, and now it has been sent out for all of you to see. And what we would really appreciate is your comments, your thoughts. So please, I think Dr. Washer has instructions in that message for how to convey your comments to us. We would appreciate that. And welcome them as well before we finalize this document. So thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Gadsden. Any other comments?
Just a short one, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Neely. Only I want to mention this because this is the first time that Tokay golf team beat Lodi High School. It's the first time they have beaten Lodi in girls golf since the Sacramento section sanctioned the sport. And this last week, they beat them again. So it's a double whammy this time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nava. All right, Dr. Washer, I'm going to request, under my comments, that we put the 2018 test results on the agenda. We can put it on as a report item, but I want discussion. I'm going to say something real quickly about those. Today, Mr. Melandro emailed me the data in a spreadsheet form, so I was able to manipulate it and look at it. I want to tell you something about stuff. 13 schools increased the percent of students that met or exceeded ELA standards by 10% over a 3-year period. So in 3 years, they increased it, not 10% of what it was, but 10% overall. So if they were scoring 33 3 years ago, they're now scoring 43. All right? Of those 13 schools, 9 are Title I schools. I think that's pretty significant. We also have 10 schools on the other side of this with 2% or less growth over 3 years. In other words, less than 1 point movement per year. 2 of the 10 had no growth, and 5 actually experienced lower scores over 3 years. 6 of the 10 schools were Title I schools. The largest increases were Live Oak, 17% over 3 years, which that's incredible. Lawrence was 16, Westwood with 15, and Heritage with 14, all Title I schools. The top scoring elementary school was Silva, 64%. That's pretty good. The top middle school was a tie between McAuliffe and Millswood at 45, and the top high school was Middle College with an incredible 98%. That's really something. The average Title I elementary score last year was 33%. The average score for a non-Title I elementary school was 53%. A 20% difference. So yes, we have an achievement gap. Now, the question on that is why do we have an achievement gap? What makes that happen? We'll talk about that in just a second. The average Title I math elementary score was 24%, and the average non-Title I was 46%, a 22% difference in our Title I schools. Now, I'm concentrating on these on elementary because elementary feeds into middle, feeds into high school, so that's where it begins at. So we gotta arrest the problem. We gotta also do something about high school and middle school, but we've got to start addressing it there. We clearly have an achievement gap. Data is important. These scores are important. But I don't want to get to the point where we live for scores. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose of looking at a score is to kind of see how our programs are going. Why is Live Oak getting 17% increase and Sutherland decreasing by 3% over the same time period? You know what? We got to look at that. We got to look and see what's going on. So we're not holding anybody totally accountable on scores. We just want to see what the good people are doing, the good scores are doing, and see what we can do to help others. And it's collaboration is what is going to get us there. That's what we're going to look at. So there's a lot of questions here to be asked. These are just basic numbers right now. We need to look at things like, what is the English language learner percentage in these schools? What programs are effective? All of those kinds of things. Data is not an answer. Data begets questions. And so that's where we've got to go with this. And that's all I've got. Anybody else? All right, moving right along. Consent agenda A. Are there any items that members of the board would like pulled from consent agenda A? All right. Are there any items the public would like pulled from consent agenda A?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve routine agenda A.
Thank you, Mr. Nava.
Second.
Thank you, Dr. Talkin. Student, I'm calling for a preferential vote on that. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Good answer. And board calling for the vote.
Taylor's over there to talk. That's Shelby.
Consent agenda A passes 7-0. Moving right along. Nice little agenda tonight, isn't it? Who put this thing together? Oh.
You can always take a trip again to Hawaii next month.
That's it. All right, consent agenda B, student discipline cases.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve discipline cases.
Thank you, Ms. Nava. Thank you, Dr. Talkin. Students do not vote on student discipline cases. Calling for the board vote. And discipline cases passed 7-0. Personnel matters, Mr. McKilligan.
Mr. President, routine personnel matters are presented for your consideration.
Thank you, Mr. McKilligan.
I have to interject here for a minute. When you were gone at the last meeting, Kathy kind of said it that way, but it wasn't here.
Nowhere near. We missed you. All right?
Mr. President, I move approval of this item.
Thank you, Dr. Talkin.
Second.
Who was that? I'm just used to hearing anything from that side. All right.
Yeah, turn them up a little bit.
Thank you, Mr. Everly. Okay, students, preferential vote?
It's personnel.
Personnel, I'm sorry. All right, board vote. Don't vote, don't vote. Board vote.
Let's start all over again.
No. Okay. Item passes 7-0.
Meetings you have left to get ready.
2, 3, we have to get that right. Communications, student representatives, who would like to go first?
I think my friend Taylor here would like to go first.
You will go far.
There's the boss and you're under.
I'd love to go first.
All right, Taylor.
President Neely, members of the board, Superintendent Washer. My name is Taylor Pittman. Tonight I'm representing Bear Creek High School.
Taylor, what do you do at Bear Creek?
I'm ASB Vice President.
Vice President.
And I also play water polo. And I'm on different clubs.
Yes. Go ahead, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. Tomorrow, on October 17th, we have our school-wide club photos for our yearbook and different activities. We just have their pictures taken that day. Some information that is happening in student government right now. Recently, we had a student pass away over fall break, Brandon Bachman. He passed away from diabetic complications. And this Saturday, October 20th at 7 p.m., there'll be a vigil in front of the theater. And on Sunday, October 21st at 12 p.m., there'll be a memorial service for him run by the school in the large gym.
Dr. Washer, did you send those out to the members?
I did.
Yeah.
Today.
Some student activities that are coming up is this Thursday, October 18th, is our first Student of the Quarter Achievement Awards. And that will be run by conflict mediation with assistance by the student government class. Student government's being involved now because it is moved to 6th period instead of 5th period last year. So now we will have time to both physically assist them and we will also be giving donations if needed for refreshments or something like that at the meeting. Upcoming activities is tonight is the volleyball senior night, and this Friday is our football senior night. That's all I have to say.
Fantastic, Taylor. Thank you very much. Any comments from the board? Okay. Moving right along. Shelby.
President Neely, members of the board, Dr. Washer. I'm Shelby Lawyer here representing Lodi High School. So recent events we had were the blood drive, where we were successful with 89 units of blood. We also recently had our homecoming rally and homecoming week, and we were having senior workshops for a variety of colleges, helping students prepare for their future. And student government coming up is our annual haunted house, and we also have our Powder Puff football game at the Great Bowl on October 25th. We are also doing the KCRA Kids Can Food Drive, and our drama club is putting on a play called Clue. Academically, we recently had an assembly this morning rewarding the students who did beyond CASP testing, and they were awarded like Flame Fridays and cool free stuff. We'd like to recognize Caden Hansen, who received the award in excellence from the National Academy of Future Scientists and Technologists. And Red Ribbon Week is also coming up October 23rd through 31st, and that's it.
Fantastic, sir. Thank you very much.
Mr. President.
Sir.
Mr. Nava and I took it upon ourselves to go see our varsity football teams play this year. We've seen both of your teams, and you should be very proud of them. They're very competitive, they're very well coached, and their sportsmanship was first rate. And we were at Bear Creek last Friday, and we were very well treated, and we thought everyone in the audience was showing a proper amount of respect and enthusiasm. So be proud of your organizations. Also, Mr. President, since we have the vice presidents here, we've heard from the presidents about what their career path and educational plans are. Maybe we'd like to hear from the vice presidents as to what their plans are. Taylor, Shelby, I'll go first.
My goal after high school is I want to go to college and get my degree in criminology or some form of law enforcement type degree, because I'm hoping to pursue a career in law enforcement, specifically a state trooper or a U.S. Marshal type role.
Thank you. School of choice?
Probably BYU Idaho or Butte College. They both have very good police/law enforcement degrees there.
Good. Shelby?
Well, my first choice college is Cal Poly, hopefully, and I
Or San Luis Obispo.
San Luis Obispo.
Of course. Thank you.
Close to the beach and the mountains. So I want to major in kinesiology and eventually become a physician's assistant for pediatric oncology.
All right. Great ambitions, both. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Mr. Freitas, for bringing those up. Okay. Thank you, students. Moving right along, employee group representatives.
Oh, they're so shy.
Who?
Here you go. I'm not shy, I'll go first.
Set the standard.
Oh, well, I don't know about that, but we'll see. So good evening, President Neely, members of the board, Superintendent Washer. I'm Deborah Ladwig, the president of the CSEA chapter here in Lodi. And I just want to thank you tonight for listening to our members. It was very important to them that they come out and talk to you. They really want to know that you hear them. And so thank you for listening, because that really means a lot to them. It has been a little bit difficult over the last few months, year, with people not feeling appreciated. You know, I mean, I'm here, I hear what you say, but it doesn't always translate out into the field. So sometimes people just don't feel appreciated. There have been a couple of circumstances, things that have happened that I think maybe helped that along. It's come to my attention over the last year that we have hired some substitutes, folks who maybe have been substitutes for a long time, 6 months, a year, maybe some 2 or 3 years, but then it works out in their schedule with their family life that they'd like to apply for a full-time position, and they're hired because they've been really good substitutes and they've worked for a long time. And then when they come here and they get to be a full-time employee, they're placed on step A on the salary schedule. And when they ask, they say, but I've been here as a substitute, done the same work, whether it's custodial or maintenance or office clerical, paraeducator, whatever it might be. I've been doing that for a number of years. Could you start me off, a little bit higher? Our contract allows that you can start up to C. And they're told, no, that doesn't count. And that hurts. You feel like the time that you worked as a substitute isn't appreciated, that it's not valued. But when you worked as a substitute, you felt like it was valuable work. And it is valuable work, and it's work that we need to have done. So those types of things just kind of eat away at our goodwill, So that's, I think that, I know I was very encouraged. I hope that my members understood your comments from the beginning, and we are looking forward to this Friday to really hash out some, hopefully some great negotiation session, And I thank you for that. I thank you for giving direction to the staff to really, roll up your sleeves and let's figure it out. Because there's a way that we can do this. We just have to figure it out. There's always a way to get everything solved. Just have to think a little harder, work a little harder. Maybe I'll cry. That'll help.
We're coming.
There you go. So other than that, things are going great. I can't believe we're already starting the second quarter. That to me is amazing. I feel like second quarter starts and then we're graduating students. It just seems like it goes so fast once we get to the second quarter. But we're back and we're ready to go. And thank you again for listening to us and for making the members who are here tonight feel that you did hear them. And I really appreciate that. We all do. Thank you.
Thank you, Deborah. Michelle, John? You don't have to. Offering you the opportunity.
Thank you for that opportunity, President Neely, members of the board, Dr. Washer. I first want to thank you, and I want to thank staff, Scott McGregor, Mental Health Services. I believe Paul Warren was involved in the loss of our member, Julia Jarrett, and helping staff and students come back. That's a shock to your system to come back and lose a family member. And as you heard from members and testimony tonight, I think many of the things that you said about Julia were chimed from her entire career in the district, from members that have retired from Leah and the kind words that they had to say about Julia. So I do also want to recognize staff for their help in facilitating that, and Ms. Archun's work that she did on site. I did hear from Mr. Jarrett, and he was at the site and was able to go to her room and to meet with her friends, her family at Parkland. And he was going to watch tonight, but I guess that might not have happened. So I will convey your words to him. Next, thank you for the recognition of our ILC members. I also heard briefly, that a thanks to Dr. Washer. I do have to say, thank you to the board, Dr. Washer, Lisa, and Sherry for sitting down 2 years ago. We sat and met and talked about planning, and it's not to discount their value as professional leaders with not just in our organization. The key here going forward is those reflective conversations that they have and the plan that they worked on for this year that started way back at the beginning of school. So I heard some ask about what their PDs are, and they have a calendar that they developed as a team and individual to meet the needs of the district. And they hear what you say at board meetings, and they took that direction, especially when we talk about early literacy or NGSS standards. And that's where they focused. Cam Wong in the 6th grade, kind of those 6th grade teachers who were doing that math in isolation on a deserted island. So she's reaching out to them. So I really have to say that although they say they're free, they are very valuable and a great asset to the district. President Neely, you mentioned testing and that those results, and we look forward to seeing that data. We also do believe that honest conversations need to happen. I believe it was 2 board meetings ago that we talked about data and how data kind of drives the direction in which we go. How do we spend our money? What do we spend our money in? And I think where you made the statement about data isn't the end-all answer. It should be invoking questions. And so whether you went higher, whether your achievement didn't go far enough, I guarantee you that every teacher looks at those scores with a very reflective eye. And so let's open that conversation on every site as to what went well, what worked, what do you think we need to change? I think you've got assets at every single school site that can help lead that conversation and be really reflective in change. And maybe it starts with the survey. We'd also like to thank and recognize facilities and M&O. There was quite a lot of carpet laying at Lakewood School, and they ended up doing more rooms than what they originally planned. And that's awesome because everybody knows the 3-year plan on a carpet becomes a 10, 15, 20-year plan needs to be done. We want to recognize the people that help teachers move stuff back. And once contacting Mitch, he was able to get more help out there. I think here's our call to communication is when that, oh, yay, we can do more, we didn't clearly communicate to all those classroom teachers that all of their stuff that they left in a certain spot would be there when they came back. And so maybe we need to reflect on how we're communicating with teachers when there's changes, whether it's home emails, because not every teacher carries their school email in their pocket. And so how can we better get that information to them, especially if administrators are on vacation because it is break. We think that that can change. We also want to shout out to Mitch and let's reflect on how soon we're getting some of our groundskeeping done. We recognize that with the deficit we have out there and some of the rains that we've had, it's very important to take care of things on school sites and make sure safety is addressed. And maybe I believe we talked about it about 6 months ago about how do we get input from the public about things that they see safety-wise. So I think maybe that our website is now a little better. We could have something where they could put something in, I see this, that I think is a safety concern, and we can more readily address that. We are hopeful as sites, Title I sites especially, are working on their single site plans, that we are transparent. I came to this board last year over some concerns of how school site council members were elected and how budgets were presented to staff. And I reminded members as we started hearing, well, we only see part of it, not all of it. And I think with LCAP and local control, every school site should know where that money is being spent. And if we go back to the testing and data driving where we go, teachers are very honest about where can I get the biggest bang for my buck. And they're penny pinchers and they spend a lot of their own money and they are not compensated for everything they do. But let's make sure that they understand where those dollars are spent at those school sites so that they can clearly communicate what is it worth? Is it early intervention? Do we need to shift some dollars there? Is this program working or not working? So that's my ask for tonight as we go forward with budget and school site plans, and then the data. It all ties together, and we're all here for one reason, and that's students being the best they can be when they get to high school and are ready to graduate. I love the questions, where are you gonna be? Those are some phenomenal goals, and teachers want those students to get there where they can open the doors that they want to open. So we need to prepare them. So let's just talk more collaboratively and reflectively, openly. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Superintendent, you have any other comments?
No further comments, thank you.
Okay, real quick, I'm sorry, I should have said this earlier. I would like an update on the LCAP information gathering process. It can be a really short, I don't need a bunch of statistics, just if you can tell the board how that's going with meetings and things like that, and what the plan is, that would be great. Also, just a reminder, Michelle brought that up about the site plans. Boy, I hope they're done better than they were last year. We don't hear all that stuff. We kind of have an idea of what went wrong, so maybe we could address that so we don't have those problems this coming time. Okay, and that's all I've got. Board Advisory Committee reports. Bonnie, you done with yours?
Yes.
Okay, that's it. How about a motion?
Move adjourned.
All in favor? Aye, we're out of here. No, you're out here. No, let's hang around. Well, except those who've been to Hawaii. You have to stay around.
It's not the one plate in the other.
I'll keep him, well, not for too much longer.
Park it in the stands and just hang out with folks and do all really good. And then quite a celebrity. You guys deserve a little bit better break, but yeah.
My student, yeah. Yeah, we're